Hello everyone, Derek Johnson with Tatango.com. Wanted to report on some industry news that we just got a word of. That is Message Media. They are an Australian-based SMS company, has acquired SimpleTexting.com. So I'm going to read from some of the notes here. So Simple Texting, it says they do over 12 million in revenue annualized and have about 10,000 business customers. So that puts them in the kind of like small business text messaging, $100 a month, on average, some less, obviously, some more. This would put them in kind of competition with, like, I'm just going through the list, Easy Texting, Avocado, Textedly, I'm pretty sure that's Trumpia, Slick Text. Those are some of the kind of more SMB, text messaging providers that are sitting in that, $49, $99, $149 type price, point. So it does not disclose how much they paid for the company. Why did they acquire this company? It looks like they just want to continue their expansion into the United States. I see this a ton. We get hit up by a ton of foreign companies looking to expand their reach into the United States. I think people are just recognizing right now that SMS in the United States is very, very popular, a very, hot industry. So we're seeing a lot of foreign companies, India, Australia, China, that are trying to make their way into the United States. It looks like Message Media already had 10,000 plus, customers in the United States. Again, kind of small businesses. If you look at their pricing plans, relatively small, from like free to a couple $100 and kind of everything in between. But that's the reason, Message Media is acquiring this company, is to expand their, reach into the United States market, which, Simple Texting was doing quite well. According to the press release here, they had, 20,000 local businesses. So you can see, small businesses, but a lot of them using that platform. And then something that hasn't been reported, which was kind of interesting, brings me back 10 plus years ago, is Message Media has also acquired the SMS business from Phizzle, Phizzle. They were an SMS company way back in the day. When we were, kind of new in text message marketing, they came on the scene. I think they raised a little bit of money. They're very, very popular with sports teams and like sports venues, and then kind of disappeared. The company completely pivoted and went in a completely different direction, like no SMS whatsoever. It was a completely different company, but they still had the SMS business. And it looks like, as of yesterday, they Message Media also acquired that company as well. Again, I think Phizzle, at least from my knowledge, what I've kind of read online, they're 100%, U.S. customers, most of them kind of in the sports arena type, industry. So real interesting acquisitions by Message Media. First you have, the Simple Texting, which expands, 20,000 plus businesses in the United States. And then you have Phizzle, or their SMS part of Phizzle. I don't think they're acquiring the name or anything. I think it's just the customers. That's going to be a little more enterprise focused, more big, college, professional sports teams, venues, things like that. Great acquisition from Message Media to kind of expand both in the small business and maybe in kind of a certain, specific niche, I guess, in that sports kind of industry. So again, breaking news, but super interesting. And it looks like Simple Texting has about 60 employees headquartered in New York, started in 2010, so about 10 years old at this point. So super interesting. If anybody has any more info, just drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what everybody thinks about this acquisition. Again, you can read it online. Just type in Simple Texting and Message Media. Again, my name is Derek Johnson with Tatango.com. Let me know in the comments if you have any feedback, comments about this acquisition, or you're hearing anything interesting out there. I'd love to hear it. Thanks, guys.